back again, guys, from Tampa Bay. Today I've got a review of the 2016 Ducati XDiavel S. This is the top-of-the-line version of their latest muscle cruiser. First impressions, obviously very close to the already existing Diavel lines. But this has a totally revised engine and supposedly ride. We've got a flip-up to start button here. The key's in my pocket. It's a keyless system, so as long as you're in proximity. Very light clutch, I like that. A little slow on cranking there. The battery might be a little low. Fogging up. Let it warm up just a second here. I'm the first one here. This is a demo day, but this is the kind of demo day I like. You just come and take the bike where you want to go. It's not led. I'm going to adjust my mirrors here real quick. And we're off. I like the control position. They're forward, but they're not stretched out, so I've got a real easy bend in the knee. It's funny, looking at the bike, it looks like it's super long with a big rake, but you get on it and you feel like you're right over the tire. I can't see the tire over the dashboard, so it does give it a very short, stubby nose feeling when you're actually riding it. I'm going to let it warm up a little bit here on the road before I goose it at all. What are you doing? Hello. Okay, right off the bat, it does have a lot of frame shake. Feels like a big V-twin, but it's not rattling my bones or anything like that. The mirrors are actually staying pretty darn stable. Position of them is really good. I just see a little tiny bit of my arm. Whew. It does not like to be lugged down, so we're gonna keep the revs up here a little bit. 3,000 RPM at 40 and 4th. Tons of torque out of this guy. This is going to be a fun ride, I can tell. There we go. Got my mirrors looking good. Holy moly. Yeah, you goose it. It really shakes. It makes my voice shake. That's cool. Very smooth shifting transmission. Absolutely perfect, as they should be. Now, he mentioned a route. Go down to 22nd, hit the freeway, come back up and go to 5th. So I'm going to try that. Give a good selection of roads here. Really nice, easy clutch engagement. Nothing unusual there. It's a fairly light lever. Certainly lighter than most. Not on par with the lightest out there. I wouldn't expect it to be. This is absolutely no problem. Stop and go city traffic. This would definitely help over most motorcycles. Whew. Looking at the gauges, it's a very, very small cluster, minimalistic. However, it is a very high resolution LCD display. It looks like a sheet of paper. You can't see any pixels. It looks like you're looking at a super high-end smartphone. Really easy to read. Now, it's an overcast day, so I can't tell you what it's like in direct sunlight, but I don't think this would have any kind of glare issues. Looking around here, I mean, it looks really nice. The speedo is digital right in the middle. Gear display right below. I know it's probably a little hard for you guys to see. There's a green gas gauge in the bottom right. Average speed display. It lets you know what throttle mode you're in. I'm in touring right now. I actually want to go into sport. There's probably a mode button here. That's a flash to pass. That's the horn. That's my green light. I do need to find that mode button. It's right around here somewhere. That's a hazard. I'm going to go straight. That's too short of a loop if that's all he wants me to do. I want to be out for at least 20 minutes, but I want to... Where is that mode button? Is it this? Display. Launch options. Ooh. Darn it. Still getting used to the clutch engagement. See, this is why you don't mess around with bikes on the road, trying to find all these electronic options. Menu enter. There we go. Okay, so the menu button works by pressing the center of it, right where it says the word menu enter, and then you can go up or down. And then, do I have to select it? Engine high, that's what I want. And urban, sport, how do I select it? You're killing me. Alright, I need to pull over. Because in touring mode, the throttle is actually diminished. And then you have urban, which he said is even more. I'm not sure if the urban or the touring is the most diminished, but I don't want either one of them. I want full power for the test ride here. Alright, let's figure this guy out real quick. Turn signals are a normal operation, but the little hat barely moves. It pivots. It doesn't slide left and right like most bikes. It's kind of an awkward push-in. It's just not intuitive. They could definitely use the industry standard controls there for an improvement. Alright, menu enter. I've got touring. Engine, which is power, is in medium. Traction control level 4, ABS level 4. That's not what I want. These are presets, and I imagine you can change these. Not 100% sure. Urban is, yeah, the lowest power. God, it auto cancels the menu. That is so annoying. Urban is low power. Most aggressive traction control, same ABS. That's not what I want either. I want sport. How do I engage sport? That's cruise control, so it's not like a select. I'm looking for like a yes button, you know what I mean? Maybe I have to turn it off. No, that wouldn't make any sense. Sport. Do I have to hold it? Hey! Almost intuitive. You just hold it. So, okay, now I'm in full power mode. One interesting thing about this bike also is the extra wide 240 rear tire. Monster of a tire, specifically produced for this bike. And he said don't be afraid to give it lean, throw it around. Very short gearing. Alright, now we'll get on the freeway here. First gear is super short. It's no wonder this thing is a huge bike, but a wheelie monster. .75 is the red line in second. Let's go up into top gear, see what we're cruising at. 70 miles an hour, we're about 4,200 RPM. Plenty of torque, no need to downshift to pass or anything like that. Just like any big engine bike, lots of passing power and torque on demand, no matter what gear you're in. I like that. And he said go down to 5th. Should be the next couple exits. Alright, that's not a bad loop. Let's go down into 4th. Not a whole lot of difference. Really isn't. Not much point at all in doing the downshift. There is exactly the same acceleration, just goosing it in 6th. That's what I like. I don't like having to downshift to go where you want to go. That's what I love about the bike I have now. Or the big bike I have now, I should say. It is a bouncy ride. It does have an adjustable suspension. I'm sure this is set somewhere in the middle. I'm getting some buffeting from the truck, so that's not helping. I want to go around them here. But just going over this pavement, which is on the smooth side, but I still have the panel expansion joints and everything. It's jarring. I'm hitting them, and it really feels like my bobber. It's on the firm side. So not a comfy long distance thing, but this is not what that's going for. Come on, people. I do love the power. Nobody's gonna say, hey, I wish this had more power. You can probably hear how jarring the suspension here is in my voice. That's not me. Wow. All right, bye-bye. This is full throttle at 6. So it gets up and goes, no problem. Certainly will get you in trouble in a couple seconds. I'm just going to stay with traffic here. Get off the freeway. Obviously it has no windscreen or cowl, and it is very quiet. I really love the way the wind is hitting me. I have almost no noise in my helmet here. I've got a Shoei RF 1200 on, which is a very quiet helmet in a good slipstream anyway. The exhaust is on the loud side for a stock bike. It's got a real nice little snarl to it. I'll open my visor so you can hear it better when I get off here. You hear the exhaust, you don't hear the intake. I like that. A lot of bikes, the intake's the loudest thing you hear. It's not illegal levels. It's not, hey, I just took the baffles out kind of levels, but it's a really nice little fun level. You know what I mean? I want to make sure I'm recording here just because I've had that card go corrupted again on me a couple times. And it is, so we're good. Alright, what else do we have for controls? That is about it. Hydraulic clutch. That explains the nice low pull. We do have adjustable front and rear suspension. Got little rubber mounted thingamabob turn signals. Got some heat coming up between my legs. It's not like Harley cook your legs kind of heat, but there is a definite heat rising, and it's a cool overcast day. But I was on it back there. It's probably about as hot as it's going to get for you. Got a tiny little display here for the dummy lights and your neutral, turn signals, ABS, that kind of thing. A little indicator there. It's got a headlamp and an A. I hope I don't have my brights on. No, I don't. Very smooth takeoff. The bars are on the wide side. They're almost like drag bars. The triple tree is pretty far forward. Here, I'll goose it here so you can hear it. And that was the front end coming up. So yeah, pretty much like a VMAX. Definitely a more comfortable seat than the last Diavel, which is the carbon that I reviewed. This one is still very vibrations. It's still on the small side. Now I don't have a huge butt, but it's on the large side. It's cradling me, let me put it that way. It is very comfortable. It's like a suede leather material, and it's holding me in place. It's got a big curved lip to keep you from sliding back, and it's doing its job wonderfully. It's working. It's on the narrow side on the front. It's very low. I can stand up and have 3 inches under me, so it's the height of a real short bobber cruiser. I'm not sure who the target audience for this really is. It's not going to be your typical cruiser people. This has twice the acceleration of the best Harley. I'm not exaggerating. This is on par with the Yamaha VMAX as far as acceleration, I would say 0 to 60 at least. And any large displacement bike above that. So it's not going to be for the people that want to just putz around, certainly not take a passenger, because there's no passenger seat, is there? Oh, there's a tiny little pad. You would not want to put anybody like on that. But it's meant for exhilarating riding, not cruising. Even though it does have fairly forward controls. These controls are really comfortable. I've got forward controls in my bobber, and I'm not real keen on where they are, because my legs are stretched out a little bit more. These are kind of in between standard and forward controls because I have so much bend in the leg. My leg is still straight forward and still hugs the tank. That's the difference. When I have forward controls and my leg is down below the tank and I can't use my body to steer the bike, I don't like that. This is still full control with your body. It's a very upright seating position. I'm not leaned forward at all. It's very comfortable. I don't have to stretch for the bars. Now, I do have long arms. I'm 6'2", 240 pounds with a 32-inch inseam, by the way. The front end, just from the way it's designed, especially not being able to see the front tire, that gives you the illusion that it's a sharper front end. It really feels like a Yamaha FZ07 or FZ09. The way this front end is, especially at low speed, it's very light. Don't let the looks of this fool you as far as it being a cruiser and stretched out. You know, you look at the rake of this, and at first glance you compare it to a VRod. Completely different ride than the VRod. The VRod rides like a cruiser. This rides like a small naked bike with a big engine. Just think of it that way. This is a small naked bike with a big engine and really brilliant forward controls. And I hesitate to even call them forward controls. They're really something unique. Let me flip my visor up here again. You can hear the engine. Very snappy acceleration on that engine. They did a brilliant job with this, I have to say. I am most impressed because I like this bike, and I didn't like the original Diavel. It is that big of a difference. It really does completely feel like a different bike. This handles way better. I'm sure it's a combination of a lot of things they did, but wow. I would love to trade the bobber in this, I'll tell you what. I mean, this is just a brilliant seating position, and it's comfy. Now, I don't have a lot of vibrations through the bars. It's moving around. I mean, you feel the engine, especially when you get on it, but it's not a buzz. It's just a working vibration. It's the same thing everywhere too, through the pegs, through the frame. I feel it through my legs, through my butt, through my hands. It's all the same. Now, this would get tiring, believe me, if you have anywhere long to go, but if you want short, fun little jaunts, this would be a fantastic option, in my opinion. Brakes feel very good there right now. At first glance, this bike looks very heavy, but I have a feeling this is lighter than I think it is, just from the way it's performing. Now, that may be the just sheer abundance of torque coming off of this engine and the way it instantly jumps whenever you do anything, but it also brakes and steers so fluidly. Downshifting's very smooth. I'm trying to keep the front end down. Really not trying to draw that much attention. But you can't give it full throttle in first gear. There's anything above 3/4 throttle just comes up. That's all there is to it. And it wants to come up in second. If I snap that open, it's going to come right up in second too. My FJR does the same thing. But if I put the suspension in firm, you know, forget it. It'll come right up. You got to turn off traction control. Well, I guess that answers the question if this will wheelie with the sport traction control setting. Yes. Yes, it will. I would imagine that it limits it in probably the urban mode, maybe the touring mode, but not sport. This, of course, has the trademark patented Ducati cam system. Mechanical linkages, so you do get high revving engines pretty much no matter how big they are. Love the sound. Really is a nice grunt and grumble. And I'm really thankful this wasn't a guided demo tour and I can just go where I want to go. Not much nosedive. It is a very comfortable suspension as long as you don't hit rides. Now, bear in mind, again, this is not adjusted for me. This is whatever it is out of the box. At the most, I would say it's probably in the middle. It may be on the firm side. They might do that, you know, just to impress people. But the way it runs, just going down the street, cornering, brilliant. You don't notice anything, and that's the best thing I can say about a bike's features. If nothing sticks out, they did it right. Still getting a lot of heat. Ooh, yeah, it's really cooking the inside of my thighs right now. It's just rising up, especially on the right side where the clutch is. Woo! It is just cooking my leg. I wonder if they have some kind of shield or fan. I don't know. I would want to do something about that though. Now remember, I'm in Florida and today it's 94% humidity. So this is about as extreme as you get for a bike in heat. All right, very impressive. Definitely give this a shot if you're looking for any kind of powerful cruiser. What do you call this? You know, I really think it's its own thing. There's the bouncy suspension again, just going through the parking lot. So this has been the 2016 Ducati XDiavel S. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Give me a thumbs up and we'll see you next time.